Wellness for Life is brought to you by Purim Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mojave Ottawa Community Action Partnership.
Hello, I'm Matt Koffenberg, physical therapist and owner of Purim Physical Therapy. Today's topic presentation I've entitled Whiplash, from filet mignon to bacon and back again. So as the title suggests, we're going to talk specifically about whiplash. We're going to talk about what happens to the muscles, particularly the neck muscles, after a whiplash injury. And visually, I thought we could use filet mignon and compare it to bacon. So when you look at filet mignon is very strong tissue. It's very thick tissue. It takes a special knife to cut through it. It's got great blood supply. And the other thing you'll notice with filet mignon is that there's very little fatty tissue in that area. That's what we're going to focus mostly on today, is that fatty tissue. So if you look at bacon, bacon is very shriveled. Bacon has very little meat. It's got a lot of fatty tissue to it. And it doesn't take much to break down bacon. So we're going to talk about whiplash. What does whiplash do to those neck muscles? It takes it from filet mignon into bacon, specifically as a result of what happens to the fatty tissue. So where is this fat that we're talking about? There are three layers of fat that we're going to want to talk about. We've got what's called intermuscular fat. Intermuscular fat is fatty tissue that's between muscles. So we've got two different muscles here, and you've got your fat in between those two different muscles. Then we've also got what's called intramuscular fat. Intramuscular fat is that fatty tissue that's within a single muscle. This is the muscle, the I-N-T-R-A, the intramuscular fat that is highly affected after a whiplash injury. So if we look at the research of whiplash, Elliott in 2011 described that within 1 to 3 months, that amount of fat within the muscle actually increases and it starts to develop. Elliott also found that in 2006, the cervical extensors, or the muscles in the back of our neck, those particular muscles were the muscles that were most affected after whiplash. We also know, based on research done by Fala in 2011, that after a whiplash injury, those neck muscles actually change their function. So because of the amount of fat within that tissue, as that fat increases, the function of that muscle changes. It moves from what's called a slow twitch muscle into a fast twitch muscle. So a slow twitch muscle is a muscle that's designed for endurance. It is supposed to hold us upright. It is those postural muscles, and that's what our neck is supposed to do. A fast twitch muscle is a muscle that works with power. It works quickly. It moves us. That is not what our neck muscles are supposed to do, and that's not what they're designed to do. So after an injury, after a whiplash injury, our muscles in our neck change from a postural muscle into a fast twitch muscle. That means that muscle is going to fatigue rapidly, and it's going to, when we're sitting at our desk and trying to read or do computer work, it's going to fatigue too quickly, and then it has a chance to get hurt. Elliott also found out that in 2011, the recovery after a whiplash injury was really dependent upon the amount of fatty tissue that was present. If that fatty tissue increased, the recovery rate was really slow. So what does that have to do with physical therapy? What is our role as a physical therapist? Well, some really exciting studies have shown that physical therapy really changes that fatty tissue. Resistance training, according to TAF in 2009, resistance training was shown to positively affect the structure of that fatty muscular tissue. It, in essence, kind of changed it. Goodpaster in 2008 showed that resistance training, or rehab or strength training, showed that it prevented the progression of fatty infiltrate development. So specifically it said resistance training prevents the progression of skeletal muscle fatty infiltrate in the older adults. O'Leary in 2015 showed that resistance training caused reduction in the amount of fatty tissue. So when you strength train, you're going to prevent the production of fatty tissue, and you're going to reduce the amount of that fatty tissue within that particular muscle. So physical therapy plays a huge role. Prior to an injury, we have filet mignon. We have really strong, thick tissue that's got a lot of blood flowing to it. After a whiplash injury, that tissue turns to bacon, very brittle, a lot of fatty tissue. It's going to hurt. After physical therapy, we have now brought it back again to filet mignon. Tissue that's not going to hurt, tissue that's going to function really well. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at 346-2464.
Thank you for watching Wellness for Life. Brought to you by Purim Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mojave Ottawa Community Action Partnership.